Well, good morning, everybody. Just to bring you up to date on quite a few things here this morning. Lake level, when I checked this morning, was about 2.5 inches above, so it's just been a phenomenal year for good water for boating. Early goose season started September 1st, so probably some of you heard a few gunshots, and it continues through September 15th. And then there'll be a youth waterfowl season October 4th and 5th. For anybody 17 and under to go out and try waterfowl hunting. And then the regular waterfowl season will begin on October 25th. So trying to, that's a means for us to try to control the goose population. Our fall festival at the campground will be September 19th through the 21st. If you've never been there, you ought to come out. It's at the campground. It's free, open to the public. It's a busy weekend, starting Friday afternoon about 4 o'clock and it runs till Sunday about 3 o'clock. And like I say, it's at the campground, open to the public, but there's arts and crafts vendors. And then for those of you out there that are looking to get your mums, there's a mum vendor there that's just unbelievable. There's food vendors. We've got activities for the kids all weekend. We're going to have a car show. And then there's live entertainment both Friday and Saturday evening at the campground there. So if you've never been out to that, come out, check it out. And you can also check out some of those things that I continually tell you about with the upgrades we do. So that event has really grown for us. Actually, our campground is going to be full that weekend. All of our reservable sites are already booked. So, but there's plenty of room for you folks to come out and park and come in and check things out. So, once again, just to touch on what Stan just touched on, you know, we're looking forward as a state park partnership and with the Handicapped Kids Derby. You know, it just takes a lot of work ahead of time, and Stan's been doing a lot of work, but we'll be ready for that. Hopefully the weather will work out, but that's something we can't control. So look forward to seeing everybody there. I know Brad's going to touch on this here in a minute, but I just want to say, since Tim put me up first, I just want to thank this organization and the Grand Lake Rec Club for the oil derrick project. You know, the oil derrick's always been somewhat of a hazard. Those of us that boated at night know. And I was out yesterday evening, or last night I should say, and it's just phenomenal how far you can see that light. Actually, I didn't have my park officer in the loop, and he called me one evening. He said, "Hey, I'm seeing a red light blinking," and he was on the east bank there at the state park. So it's phenomenal. So, and then the bar's still open. Thanks, guys, for letting me participate. I participated in that, being a judge. I look forward to taking that day off work and being a judge. And once again, it was another great event. My 14-year-old daughter got a little bit of an education that maybe she shouldn't have got, but being a judge as well. But hey, we needed help, so she helped. We've got another member back here, another gentleman back here I want to touch on, and it's U.S. Freshwater Boaters Alliance. And you folks have heard about them. It's another volunteer group that formed this year, and it's a new group that I think is going to expand across Ohio and possibly across the whole United States. But we've talked about it before. It's just another passionate bunch of volunteers that set up a radio communication when they're out boating. We've talked about it before. You know, if you want to be a part of them, see him today. He's back there. You can't miss him. He's in blue, the light blue back there. So, see him. But what I will tell you about the Freshwater Boaters Alliance is they help support all of our events, the Governor's Cup, the fireworks events for Freedom Days, for Lake Festival, and then the fireworks for Moose Stock with the safety perimeter and patrol. And also the part you don't see behind the scenes is when they're out boating, of course, they're enjoying themselves, but also they're looking for people that are having issues, you know, maybe a distressed boater. They're looking for logs that are floating, and they stop what they're doing to address that log or to address that disabled boater. And I've been able to call upon them in the evenings as well, and they'll go out towing a boat that's in distress. But they're well over 400 volunteer hours now they've recorded on the lake. So it's a set of eyes out there on the water looking out for the fellow boaters that are having issues, and it's much appreciated. So you get a chance, stop and see him today and talk to him about that. So there's going to be a company called Pickett Enterprises is going to do a pilot project with their technology, and that's going to be at Windy Point. When you go down Windy Point Road on the left there's the new Montezuma Fire Department boathouse. That little dead-end channel that comes up to Windy Point Road on the left, they're actually going to curtain a small portion of that off, and they're going to try their technology as a pilot, and they're supposed to start that here within the next couple weeks. I don't know anything more than that at this time. So Another thing we're getting ready to start is everyone knows there was a committee put together that looked at lake level management, because that was part of the lake restoration's action plan, or the action plan that was developed to restore the lake, and that was one of the points. I think it was the 8th point of the plan. And so that will be, we adopted that last January, and everybody knows we did a drawdown last winter. But going into this season, this fall, we're going to start that drawdown October 1st, just so everybody's aware of that. And that what that policy says is that we will draw the lake down and maintain it at 9 inches below spillway level from October 1st through March 15th. So just be aware of that. And then the thing I wanted to touch on, I said I was on the lake yesterday evening, and it was a new experience for me. 46 years growing up on the lake. I mean, I've done a little bit of everything. I've muskrat trapped, I've gigged frogs, I've crappie fished, bass fished, shot ducks, shot geese, but I've never went out on the lake in pursuit of the big catfish. And if you've never done that, it was a blast last night. The size of fish that are in this lake, and there's actually a tournament today from noon to 6. It's a large tournament. It's they had to qualify through some tournaments this summer to get into it. But it was just phenomenal. Last night we were catching 8-pound catfish. I mean, these things were huge. So it was just a neat experience, something new that I tried yesterday evening. So this lake, I will tell you, is full of catfish, that's for sure. So the Governor's Cup Regatta was a huge success. Hopefully all of you stopped out and checked it out, whether you came by boat or came by car. It was another safe and successful event. That's the part I get concerned about, that it's safe. We did have a boat flip during the hot laps on Sunday morning. That was quite interesting. I got to watch that whole thing, and it was like in slow motion. They were out just running one boat at a time, and it actually went totally airborne and went over backwards. But luckily the driver got out of his cockpit safely, and everything went okay. But we had approximately 40 boats here that participated in that. I will be honest, the spectators were a little bit light compared to past years, but we're going to be looking at some new ideas for 2015 to turn that around. So once again, as everybody knows, the Goodwins were the unlimited sponsor, the large sponsor for that, and we thank them again for stepping up, and the other sponsors that stepped up to make that event another success. And the LIA was a sponsor of that event as well, so thank you. Tom Grable wasn't able to be here this morning, so he gave me his report to deliver to you all. If you haven't been out, Brutus is working in the bay of the Little Chickasaw Creek. Everything's running very well with it, and they're going to reach 100,000 cubic yards here within the next couple weeks just with that one machine. The Pump a Little is over at Maples. It's finishing up first part of next week, and then we're going to move to Southmore Shores, to the lagoon area of Southmore Shores. That's the lagoon between Southmore Shores and Rustic Haven, basically. And it's exceeded what it pumped at this time last year, so it's going well. And then the Hodag, the newest dredge, I'll be up front with you, we've had some issues with it. It came here, it's new, and so there was some issues with it, but the company has been here to repair it. And we did get it repaired, or they got it repaired, and we did operate it Friday, half a day, with no problems. So it's going to be moving down to, or back to Riley Bay this week, Monday actually. And just in that 4 hours, it pumped 600 cubic yards. So that thing's going to be quite a machine. So we're working on an additional DMRA over on the southwest corner of the lake. We're working with a private individual on that right now. And at Wright State, everybody's seen where we built the first 2 DMRAs up along 703. This late fall, early winter, we'll be building a couple more behind it. And then we're shooting to do stump removal in October. And so, yeah, we do know our production's down, and we know a lot of people want to hear what that number is. Our number is right about 130,000 cubic yards right now, which is down. But if we get this new machine up and running, next week, and everything keeps running well, I mean, we should be able to get our numbers up. Our biggest issue this year was that Eagle dredge, that third dredge that we brought in a couple years ago. We just had mechanical issues with it, but it's a 60s vintage machine, so that's a little bit of what you get. So that is my report. Unless there's questions, I'll entertain questions. Mr. Hearn?
How deep are you going to dig Riley Bay? How much of the bottom?
Just to the original clay bottom, wherever that's at.
Where's that, about 6, 8 inches or so?
That will remove, you mean?
No, how far are you going down? How much muck is there before you hit hard pan?
Oh, there's probably like the rest of the lake, there's probably 3 to 4 foot of material to remove. Yeah, but we'll take it down like we do everywhere else. We'll take it down to the clay bottom. Yeah, we won't remove any clay, so we'll remove the silt. Any other questions? All right, if not, everybody have a safe fall.